Hi everybody, Matt and this charming man, Tom, back with you. What a handsome devil.
Where are we today, Matthew?
Today, all you had to do was ask me. I mean, what difference does it make? No need to panic. I can't think of any more. If that's not giving it away, we're in Salford. And we are looking today at locations of a certain music video that was made here. It was the last song released by the Smiths when they were still before they split up, essentially, 1987. So going back 37 years in time, all will be revealed as we get nearer. Shall we go look? I mean, how soon is now? Sorry.
Heaven knows I'm miserable now.
The Smiths were a Manchester band that existed between 1982 and 1987. They consisted of Andy O'Rourke on bass, Mike Joyce on drums, Johnny Marr on guitar, and Morrissey on vocals. Although each member played their part, it is the duo of Morrissey and Marr that became like the 80s version of Lennon and McCartney. It's 37 years ago since the band split up. Internal differences tore them apart. They still heavily influence the bands of today. Their final UK single release was due to be a song called Stop Me If You Think You've Heard This One Before. However, this was banned by the BBC in 1987 because at the same time it was due to be released, the Hungerford Massacre had happened. Due to there being a line about mass murder, it was pulled and only released in certain countries. Also quite rare for this release, there was an official promotional music video made, which features Morrissey and a gang of other clone Morrisseys riding their bikes around Salford. So in this video, we're going to see if we can find the locations and what they look like today. So to quote the album that the single was released from, Strangeways, here we come. Okay, so at the beginning of the video, first minute of it, you see Morrissey and the gang cycling past some very high walls. We think those walls are outside Strangeways Prison, which is where we are now. And I'm not sure quite if we're allowed to film here, but we'll do what we can in terms of showing you the locations. I think it's at the top end. It'll make sense when we're there. So the reason we think we're in the right place is because of that chimney just there, which appears in the background on the video. So this is the back of Strangeways Prison officially, but I think more from the other side. But you can see these on the video as they ride along that way. So I think we're here. I think where Tom is leaning against the wall, that is where the picture of Oscar Wilde is stuck at the beginning, and then you see them come down on the bikes just here. So the next place we're looking for is called the Salford Lads Club. It's a very historical place. It's one of a few lads clubs that appeared early 1900s, and it was a kind of way of giving boys something to do in this area. So at this point, what I'm going to mention, if you can hear me, is I need to thank two people for their info today. One is Tales Beyond the Grave, and the other is Daft Monkey, who were both from Salford and have helped me with a couple of the locations today. Thank you very much. Do check out their channel. And the reason I'm specifically pointing to Daft Monkey's channel is because if you look at his videos on the, I think they're called the Scuttlers, which were a youth gang from around here at the end of the 19th century, they suddenly found themselves in places like Salford Lads Club with something to do, and those gangs dissipated. Great videos, and thanks again, guys. Okay, so in the video they head off down their bikes these streets here, and yep, we are on Coronation Street. And what you'll notice in the video is all these houses, every single one of them is boarded up. Now, a lot of houses, when you see them all boarded up like that, is because they're going to be demolished for something else. But in actual fact, it was part of a regeneration, so all these are now lived in again, and it's a nice little street. Welcome to Coronation Street. So it's quite odd to see that all these were boarded up. I did not expect to find such a beautiful little spot, really. I thought the reason they were boarded up, they were going to be demolished. We were going to be surrounded by high-rise flats or something like that, but no. Nice. So let's find if we can find a couple more spots from the video here. In the background, when you see them riding through the streets, this building appears. I'm not sure quite what the building is. It's 1904 on it, so this would have been built around the same time as the Lads Club, and yeah, it's all derelict, boarded up. No access in, unfortunately, otherwise we'd have a look. Yeah, old church, I guess. So one thing that is different is these rows of houses have got gardens. There's obviously things are back alleys and stuff are blocked off, so we probably can't show you many more kind of spot on locations for here, but yeah, you get a general idea of what it looked like when the army of Morrisseys were circling around. So we're very lucky and honoured that we've been allowed access today to come and have a look inside the Salford Lads Club. This is still a very, very busy room and it is full of history. But to link in with our video for today, what you can see behind me is that there is a room completely dedicated to the Smiths and their link to the building here at the Lads Club. We're going to pop in, we're going to have a special guest on the video. We're going to meet Leslie, who's the project manager, who's been working on this room since 2004. So let's pop in and see what we can find inside. Right, so here we are. We are in the Smiths room. Look at this. And this is all the people who have come here to stand outside the Lads Club. Over time we have things like the mosaic formerly outside Affleck's Palace, Morrissey there, and if we move around we meet Leslie.
Hello.
Thank you so much for allowing us to come and look at the room today.
Great to get people coming inside.
Yeah. Could you just give us a very quick history about this room and the work you've been doing here?
Yeah, I came here in about 2003, and one of the first things I was aware of that there were families outside the building, and they were quite intrigued to come in, but it wasn't really possible at that point. And we had a radio programme here to do with 25 years after Hand in Glove, and some fans came, and this room, which is an old weightlifting room, it was all boarded up at the time, and I brought the fans in here, and they said, I know you're always outside, what about sending us a picture back or leaving a message? And we then opened it in 2004. Didn't realise it was going to get to this kind of scale, but people continue and even get bigger and bigger every year, the numbers who come here, and just the fascination with the picture outside as a spiritual place really, and then wanting to come in and share that. A lot of these are not my favorite.
So, if you think this room looks full, look, the ceiling is full of pictures and notes, and everywhere you look there are not only pictures of the Smiths themselves, but various people who have visited over the years. And Leslie had to make extra room as well, because not only is there that wall, there are secret walls.
Yeah, I run out of space quite a few times, so this is one of the solutions to it. It's an amazing extension, like a Victorian idea. But it means people at that point keep sending us pictures. And there's people like Marquis Smith, Ryan Adams, Happy Mondays. So a lot of the bands, what we call Salford, Manchester music is actually from Salford. And that was a really important part of it. But then lots of other musicians, people like Pete Doherty, we've had Jarvis Coffey here, Billy Bragg. You know, it's all kind of, they're inspired by something, and it's about, often it's about, we had somebody doing a book launch about Oscar Wilde recently here, and he put all the pictures up of all these pop musicians who were influenced by Oscar Wilde, and nearly all of them have been here. So it's quite interesting, that kind of connection. You know.
Peaky Blinders cast. There are a lot of people from all over the world, somebody from Brazil, Stockholm.
There are people coming up on the screen from Iraq,
Wow.
from Panama, from Taiwan. It just is every country apart from North Korea. North Korea is the only place.
Right,
I think,
that's the only one that's not
I can certainly say we emptied a person from North Korea.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of people we get people from every country in South America very, very regularly.
Right.
And a lot of people from Singapore and Indonesia. It's amazing. And obviously a lot of Americans and UK people, Europe.
Yeah.
When you get all these collections, it's like that music has gone global. And that is really, you get a lot of young people as well. So it's not just a fan base who were around at the time.
Yeah.
It's actually been passed on through generations. And I think the fact that they were only together for a very short time has made their music, it's almost like perfect stuff, what they did in that period.
Yeah.
And young people pick it up because the lyrics are sharp. They talk about a society that is exactly as it still is.
Yeah. Wow. And a lot of the lyrics are still very true for today, aren't they?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, people get his humour more as well, I think, with a lot of young people. There's a lot more irony, there's a lot more kind of, it was kind of way off beam at the time, wasn't it? It was almost out of time, I think. And a lot of people think, what's going on here? It's like is it pastiche of the 60s? Those sorts of things going on there where people couldn't quite decide what it was about.
So Leslie, you'll get quite a broad spectrum of Smiths fans here. I guess at some point they weren't always welcome.
Yeah, you can say that, yeah. I think the leader at the time tried to kind of ban them from coming. She was quite a big royalist, so an album that came out was called The Queen is Dead. You can imagine what that caused. But also fans used to come along and they would put graffiti on the building and chip bricks off.
Wow.
And so it did cause a lot of big rift for a very long time, I think. Yeah. And then a lot of the volunteers who were around at the time are still here, and they welcome people every Wednesday and Saturday. So we have open days here,
right.
Wednesday 11 till 2 and Saturday 11 till 2.
And can they just turn up and wait outside?
They can just come in.
Coming
through that door is a very, very special thing.
Yes.
And to see this amazing place and what's inside it. It's a magic kingdom.
It is, it is. I could spend hours in here just looking through, but we need to find our next location. Leslie, thank you so much for allowing us in today.
Okay.
Yeah, just a credit to you. The patience it's taken to get this all together, and not just the Smiths things. I love the fact there's still the history of the Lads Club here as well.
It's building on what was here. I loved all this kind of weightlifting stuff in here. It's just great to kind of add to that. And, I think fans like all that. They like this old voting booth. They like the weights. It's that kind of cultural mix, I think.
Yeah. So at the end of the video we see the army of Morrisseys go past, I thought it was initially a pub called Albert Finney. I was wrong, and again Steve, Tales Beyond the Grave, put me right on this one. Albert Finney is apparently a former bookmaker's, and it is linked to Albert Finney the actor. I think it was his dad who owned it, so it was named after him. Unfortunately, it isn't there anymore. I think even in the video it's probably shut, is the shop. That whole block has been demolished, but we'll show you where it was and what is now in its place. Okay, so this is where the Albert Finney stood, just here. It's not very easy to tell, but on the picture of the video, you see the traffic lights and the lights behind. Yeah, just on this block here, just in front of where Duty is now. Okay, that is our look around Salford and the locations for the Smiths music video. Stop me if you think you've heard this one before. I think we've done all right. We've found more than I expected, which is pretty good. So once again, thanks to Leslie at the Salford Lads Club for allowing us access to the Smiths room. It's very special. Yeah, I could have spent hours in there. And do, you know, if you're a Smiths fan, pop along when they're open. Go and have a look. It's definitely worth a look. So yeah, I can't think of a song to finish with. What song could we have done? I don't know. I'm like just a boy with a thorn in my side. That's terrible. Sorry. We'll see you next time. Take care.